y'all, it's Laura and welcome back to Scraplift Sunday. This time we're lifting Natalie D'Souza. We've lifted before, but I happen to be a big fan, so I picked this one to scrap this beautiful photo of my daughter Charlie in a gorgeous dress that she asked for. It is a very nice cotton, I think she called it cottage core style dress, and I think it is beautiful, and was really excited that she wanted to wear such a beautiful dress because she's been dressing a bit more teenagery angsty teenager lately, and so I was super excited to see her in this beautiful dress, and she loved it. So I decided to follow that circle design just like Natalie did, and I decided to use a 5x7 photo, which I have cut down to a 5-inch circle. And this is going to be a big element on the page, and so I wanted to make sure that the circles I did include behind the photo were able to stand on their own. So where Natalie did 4 layers of circles under her photo, I'm only doing 3 because I have a larger photo. I'm fairly certain she used a 4-inch circle, and I did not have the appropriately sized templates to do 4 and still be able to see all 4 layers underneath. So I'm using circle templates made from bowls where I have put them onto a piece of chipboard, circle around the bowl, and then cut them out. And these have been so handy for me since I gave up my silhouette machine, and I've really enjoyed using them. I find them so much faster and easier than fighting with the machine, and sometimes getting it cut correctly, sometimes not. And it was so much time. I was spending so much time trying to make the silhouette machine work, and it just was not worth it to me. Mostly what I use it for is just simple shapes like this that I can just create templates and make it work. So I decided to use a beautiful wood grain as my base. I have backed it with this absolutely stunning Simple Stories paper that had the beautiful watercolor florals. And then I was going to do what Natalie did and reuse the wood grain in the middle, but I didn't love the way that that looked. I felt like it kind of covered up too much of the watercolor and was just a bit heavy on the layout. So I do end up deciding to just flip that over and using the kind of a dark teal side instead. And then I have this circle, which is a beautiful yellow that really makes her dress pop because it is a gorgeous yellow color. I've also cut a frame. The photo and the frame that I cut were using some circle metal dies and my Big Shot machine, which is just a manual die cutter. I'm finding myself using that a whole lot more now that, again, I've given up the silhouette machine. And I did want to add in the same sort of stitching that Natalie did as well. Now she did it on each circle, and she color matched the thread to the papers. I did not have a color match for that teal paper, so I just skipped it and just did the wood grain and the yellow paper, and I think it turned out fine. I ended up putting a lot of journaling on that teal paper anyway, so I didn't feel like it needed to have stitching on that one as well, but I love the texture that hand stitching adds to a layout. I think it's so much fun. I think it's just so clever. It's just such a clever way to add texture, to add a little bit of dimension to the page without going crazy, and brings in one of the other hobbies that I have and love, stitching. I used to do a lot of cross stitching when I was in high school, and while I don't do as much now, I do really enjoy hand stitching, especially onto layouts, and this was a great opportunity to do very simple back stitch all the way around, and I had found, luckily, a couple of threads in my stash that matched that beautiful yellow and this wood grain pretty close to perfectly, which I wasn't sure was going to happen with the wood grain, but was very happy to see that it did work out. Now, one thing I would change to this layout if I was doing it again is I would probably move my photo a little to the left so that it doesn't look quite so centered in the circle. And I think that's what Natalie did with hers as well, but I had started sticking down the bigger circles first, and once I got to the top layer, I went, oh, this ended up a little closer to the center than I intended it to, but that's okay. I think we made it work anyway. I am using a paper piercer tool, or an awl, as it's also referred to, from the Paige Evans bookbinding tool. I love this paper piercer and use it frequently. I actually found that to be a fully worthwhile tool to invest in, and I think there's also one from Amy's Hand that's similar, that didn't come with a whole expensive tool. But any kind of paper piercer would work, and I'm just guesstimating. I'm not trying to make my stitches perfectly even. I'm totally okay with them being slightly off. I think that just adds to the handmade feel of the layout. Now, color-wise, I love how this turned out. I have the threads here that I'm sharing with you the numbers, and so if you needed to look those up, or if you had these papers and wanted to match, these worked out pretty well. I'm not going to do all of the stitching on camera because it did take a good bit of time, probably about an hour, to do all of the stitching on the layout, but I think it's worth it, and it's certainly something that you can do while watching TV or YouTube and just kind of sit and relax. Now, this is my favorite way to thread a needle, and I always get comments on it. I've just pinched the end of the thread in between two fingers, my thumb and forefinger, and then slide the needle down in between them, and it catches the threads so much easier than trying to do it the other way, just poking it through. I just find it keeps the threads nice and tight and straight and easy to maneuver that eye of the needle over them. So just diving in with some simple straight stitches. If you want to try hand stitching but you're not sure, have never tried it, I do have a tutorial on hand stitching showing you several different ways to stitch, including how to include sequins. So I will link that for you at the end of the video. You'll see a little pop-up when the video ends that links straight to that tutorial. Now, I did decide to go ahead and trim it down and put it onto a white border because I felt like the white border around my daughter's picture was standing out a little bit too much and maybe looked a little bit out of place. So by adding this white border around the entire layout, the circle border just reflects that larger border, and it just feels like it makes more sense. Now, because I am using collections that are significantly brighter, bolder colors, this layout ends up a little bit wild, but I love it, and I think it fits my daughter's personality very, very well. She is, like me, a very bold and vibrant personality, and I absolutely love the idea of just clustering these florals in different places, 3 different areas on the layout, just like Natalie did. But they went, like I said, there was much more color involved. Her layout is a little simpler color-wise and a little bit more pastel, and so it has a more elegant look, whereas mine is more wildflower and I don't know, I kept thinking of fairies and wood nymphs and wild creatures while I was making this layout, and kind of giggling to myself because that sort of thing would absolutely thrill my daughter. She's big into fantasy and anime and things like that, and I think she would really enjoy that comparison. But this dress, it's so flowy and soft, and it just feels like you're in some sort of fairy tale when you see her in it. It's just so pretty. So I'm just going to tuck in these florals in 3 different areas, keeping in mind that I want to have a title at the bottom right and some journaling coming out from that left cluster. I'm also bringing in some Scrap and Happy Studio mini butterflies that I'm going to tuck 1 of each into the clusters just for something that's not paper. And I really like to do that. I really like to have a 3D embellishment that isn't paper to add into my clusters. Sometimes I use wood veneer, sometimes I use buttons, sometimes I use epoxy flare, sometimes I use cork. I have a whole list of embellishments that I could name off that I often bring in just to add a little bit of something different, something that adds that impression of dimension and a little bit of added non-paper texture. So this was a really fun one to do. I'm a big fan of a floral explosion layout where you just go wild with flowers. And while this feels more like segmented floral explosion, because there are 3 of them. I had so much fun doing this. It was such a blast to get all of these florals on here. And because this month's kit actually has a ton of florals, because I may have fussy cut a whole paper full of them, the whole 12 by 12, as well as had an ephemera pack full, yes, I had a lot of florals to play with. So I've mixed both of those styles of florals on this page. I think that adds to the sort of wild and free and nature theme of it all. And then I'll bring in a few more bits and pieces from this puffy sticker pack. I ended up grabbing this love title and then deciding to add to it with the yellow alphas that I had pulled. And so I wanted to title it Always Love You, because I think it's really important that my kids understand that yes, it is great and it is necessary to have people in your life that love and accept you. It's also just as necessary to love yourself, to know who you are, to accept who you are, and to love who you are. And I think that is something that gets lost in translation, especially with teenagers quite often. I feel like that's something that gets a bit overlooked in the lessons that we're teaching them. And it's something that I want to encourage my kids to give a great deal of thought and priority to. Always love yourself, because I find myself much happier when I love who I am and where I am in my life, as opposed to not. So just laying out my title, I want to just tuck in the love right in the gaps of the word always. And by nestling those words in together, they don't feel so awkward being different fonts and different sizes. And because they're nestled together, they just feel like one cohesive piece. So now everything is glued and taped down, bringing in these Hip Kit Club enamel dots just to trying to get them used up. I had finished off a kit and was just like, oh, look, there's orange on this layout. Let's use a whole row of orange enamel dots and any other colors we can tuck in here. I actually just finished this pack in a live that I did recently, and hopefully I can finish off some more enamel packs soon, because I've kind of lost interest with enamel dots and am ready to use up what I have and not buy anymore. Just use the ones I get in kits and not intentionally add any more to my stash. Adding in some journaling lines with my T-square ruler just to that teal section next to the floral, and then some gold Nuvo drops and Heidi Swap Color Shine splatters to finish off the page. Be sure to check out Miranda Weber's take on this layout as well. This is one that I picked, like I said before, so I don't know how much of a challenge this was for her, but I had a blast with this one. It went a little wild, but I think it still pretty well captures my own personal style, and I love how it complements her beautiful dress and just lovely photo. It's definitely the center of attention on this circle-filled layout. That's it for me this time, guys. I hope you've enjoyed it. Until next time, bye!